Hey everybody, James here with Fisher and Fever. So today I'm going to be scaping and stocking this fishbowl here. It's not your average size fishbowl. It is a little bit larger, several gallons. But we've picked out this rock here, that piece of spider wood, then I've got some Carib Sea Samurai soil for shrimp and plants, and one of these fluval moss balls. Basically to help absorb phosphates. We're going to give this a try. Shout out to Aquatic Marine. They gave this to me to try it out in the video and let them know what I think about it and how I think it works. I'd never tried it before, so thank you to them. Not sponsored by Fluval or Carib Sea or anything. Actually picked everything up but the tank or the bowl at Aquatic Marine here in Knoxville. If you haven't seen any of my other videos about them and you're near East Tennessee, go check them out. Awesome place. And then I've also got some plants, and then I did get the livestock from Aquatic Marine as well. But full disclosure, the fluval moss ball and the rock were given to me from Kenny at Aquatic Marine. But I mean, it was a fairly large purchase with everything I got, so it's not like they're paying me to say good things about them. Y'all know how I feel about that. But anyway, what I'm going to do is actually want to take this rock right here, and I looked around for a while. It fits almost perfectly right there. So I'm going to get that super glued in place, and we'll get started setting this up, and I'll be right back as soon as I get that done. Alright, so while I was waiting for that glue to dry on the rock right in there, I went ahead and did add some of the substrate. Again, that's the Samurai soil from Carib Sea. And right now I've got a sponge filter in the back. It's a small one, but it's not the micro ones. I may get one of the little bitty sponges to go in here, or I may just take it out eventually. But I did want to at least run a sponge filter at first to clean it up a little bit. And that one is seeded, so it'll get some beneficial bacteria over into this system. I'm not going to be able to finish the scape tonight. It does say on the packaging for the soil to wait 24 hours before you add any livestock. So the livestock I had for this, I'm actually going to put into another tank, and I'll get some other livestock to go in here after the 24 hours. But the initial plan was to put a couple of little fish in here today, and so I wanted something that was seeded, thus the filtration back there. But back to the rock and the wood. Now you're looking at, oh my god, that's horrible. Look at all that ugly white there. Yes, absolutely, I agree. So one of my favorite tricks for that is to go back a little more super glue. Very thin line, very small amount. Then you're going to take Java moss. I like to kind of break it up into smaller pieces. And what I'm going to do is take all this broken up Java moss, just kind of pat it on there and spread it around. Part of the reason I did the smaller pieces is so that when a clump sticks, you're not stuck with the whole giant piece in one spot. But you can do it however you like. But basically we're going to glue Java moss on there, cover up that glue stain. With that, more Java moss. You don't have to put it directly on the rock. If you want, if you know where you're going with it, you can put it onto the moss. It's a little bit trickier, but you can put it on the moss and attach the moss that way. And the great thing about Java moss, as we all know and usually complain about, it doesn't grow really fast. We can't ever seem to propagate it quickly enough, so it's not like it's going to take over. And if it does start to take over, that'd be great because you'd have an awesome propagation spot. But I don't foresee that happening. you know, I can trim it down every once in a while fairly easily. I'm going to put a little bit more glue on the back side. Where I have some glue on the other side of that. There we go. And I'm going to attach some Java moss there as well. Great thing is if you end up with, you know, excess or Java moss that didn't attach, you get too much on there and it floats out, you can just scoop it up. So I usually will layer it on there pretty thick so that we know it's going to cover that glue up. And after the fact, you can trim it back down or get any loose pieces out. So that's what we're looking at so far. Backside. This is going to be kind of the primary viewing angle, if you will, and I will trim some of that moss back. I really don't want that much on there, but we're gonna wait until we get it filled up, see how much sticks and see how much comes off. I do have a couple other small plants, or at least currently small plants, that we have the option of putting in here. First I want to do this moss ball that was supplied along with my purchase. We're going to try this thing out. Says it treats 10 to 20 gallon aquariums and is effective for up to 2 months. It produces organic matter as for freshwater shrimp or fish aquariums. It basically just looks like an actual Nano moss ball. So we'll end up putting that in there here in a minute once I look at some of the other planting options. One thing I would like to work in here is I've got some Aquascaping Bolivianas, I think. So I will probably add a little bit more soil on the back side and kind of get that guy in there. Probably back there. And then maybe add a little bit of Sagittarius subulata. See if I can pull a little bit of that out. I'm not going to add all of this, but we'll add one or two. Of course, it's going to try and grow like crazy, so we'll trim it a lot. But you know, I want to have essentially get enough plants in there, and a lot of the stocking is going to be so minimal that I can just pull that filtration out and not have to worry about it. I may still run a small air stone into the back of the wood though, just because I do like having surface agitation. I'm not a fan of no agitation at all. You can do it, there are people that do it. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just not a fan. It seems like you get the little protein compounds building up because the bubbles are gassing that off. And it's just not something that I enjoy or look forward to having. So I think I'm going to go ahead and plant one of these. Okay, this is kind of interesting / fun working in this fish bowl. Trying to work from a different angle. So basically what I'm doing, for anyone that's not familiar with planting plants, I guess you could say, or hasn't seen my other videos, what I like to do is kind of take the roots, wrap them around into a root ball gently without destroying them. And once you've got that slightly together, you don't have to have the planting tweezers, but grab that up. As you can see, that's not perfectly at all. That'll be fine. We're just going to push that down into the substrate. Gently release, pull those out, and that little guy will stay in there. I'm going to plant a couple more. I'll probably turn this off here in a second and finish the planting off screen. That way this doesn't go too terribly long and I still have time to go over the end result with you. And I'll tell you the stocking when I do that part. I won't tell you just yet, so stay tuned and you'll get to see the fish here in a minute. But I'm going to get to planting these couple plants in here and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so we are actually a few weeks later, following the clip that you just saw, and as you can see there's been a lot of great plant growth in here. The stocking that I went with, as you can see that guy right there, is actually a glow betta. I'm not going to do any special glow lights or anything on him. I just saw him, thought he was pretty, and thought he would go nicely in there and that would give him a bigger home than a cup. In terms of lighting, I do have some little LEDs off of a 10-gallon lighted hood that I rigged up for this, but I've actually been using natural sunlight in the tank. I cut that hole there to try and mount another light. It didn't work, but I had that blackout curtain slid over. That way it gets some natural sunlight throughout the day. But that is what we're looking at. The plants are doing well. Our little fishy friend here is doing well. That's my first glowfish, my first glow betta. Really neat little guy, as are all bettas, and he seems to really enjoy it in this bowl, which is about, I don't know, 3.5, 4 gallons maybe. So he's having a good time. I do want to come up with a lid for this, which is going to be fun with the woodwork sticking out, and I intended it for it to be that way when I purchased it. But what I'm thinking is I can find some sort of a clear plastic bowl, or maybe even a large glass bowl, and flip it upside down above the tank, and then just have a hole through it for air circulation. But almost something like, let me see if I can get the scale right, something like that almost on top of it, which this is not big enough to actually fit on this. This is a much smaller glass dish that I use for some feedings, but something like that, and then mount the lights inside of it. But that is where we ended up at. Apologies it took so long for me to get this video out, or any video for that matter, but I am kind of back in the swing of things, if you will, and I'll have several more videos coming out, including the part 3 of the Piaba tank, or the rainforest conservation kit tank, stocking, and several other things. The original stock that I had intended to go in this bowl was actually some Celestial Pearl Danios, and they have gone into this tank here, which I'm going to do another video just for that tank. That's actually the tank that I brought back from the Big Fish Deal Aquascaping competition, and then the fish bowl I purchased at the Big Fish Deal. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. If you haven't already, subscribe. We do live streams every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then also catch me with Chattanooga Ed for the Nocturnal Feeding Show, which is at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time Friday, following Multi-Tank Addiction, who runs Thursday night. And we are going to be moving that show over to Chattanooga Ed's channel here in the next couple weeks. So if you're catching this the day it comes out or within a few weeks, that show is on my channel. After that, go check out Chattanooga Ed. Awesome guy and my co-host. So be sure to leave me some comments, questions down below. And until next time, keep your fish healthy, keep yourselves healthy, and catch yourself a little fish room fever. Take care, everybody.